Hey guys, welcome back to GuitarAnimal.com. This is Trent, and today I'm going to go over a video showing you how to read tablature. So this is an introduction to tab reading. So if you've never seen guitar tablature before, this will help you out. First thing you need to know when you're looking at tabs, there are 6 lines on the page instead of 5. Okay, so it's not staff paper. It looks like staff paper. I know a lot of my first-time students come in and I show them this paper and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to read music. You do not know how to read music to learn how to read tablature. So there's 6 lines on the page instead of 5, and each one of those lines represents a string on our guitar because there's 6 strings on the guitar. So here's your tab page, and basically they're laid out like this. The top line is the first string, the thin string on the guitar, and the bottom line would then be the 6th string. So we have strings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, just like the strings on the guitar, and they match. Now you'll notice I'm holding the guitar what most people consider upside down, but the reason for that is the first string on the guitar is the high note, and the high note is going to be higher on the page, and then the bottom string is the low note, the 6th string, and that's on the bottom of the page. So if you do have trouble reading this, if you lay your book down in your lap and lay your guitar on top of it in this fashion, they do match. So that's how the strings are laid out, first string through 6th string. And the next thing you're going to see on tablature will be numbers, and numbers correspond to the frets. So I do have a tab sheet available that goes with this lesson. Go to GuitarAnimal.com, print out the tab sheet. It's available there for you, and I'm going to go over everything on that sheet today. I'll write some things on the notes here, but you'll really want to have that sheet in your hand when you're learning this lesson. So the first thing you would see on the sheet is the number 5 written on the first string. So this is the first string. Put a 5 on it. Notice that the number is not written on a line like you would sign on a line. It's actually written with whatever string that number is going to be played on, cutting it in half. So that 5 corresponds to the 5th fret on the first string. What that means is for me, or the player, to play the first string, 5th fret, 1 time. And that's exactly what that means. The 5 says play it on the first string once. If I wanted you to play it 4 times, I would write 5 4 times, and you'd play it 4 times. Now, tablature does not give you any sense of timing. That's one of the downfalls of tabs. Some of the newer tabs, they'll actually put note values underneath the numbers and tell you how long you need to play or how many times you need to play the note or what speed you're going to play the note at. But for basic tab, it's just going to be a number and a fret. So again, 5 on the first line, play the first string, 5th fret. If I wanted you to play something on the 2nd string, say the 8th fret on the 2nd string, I'll draw a couple of those. That says play the 8th fret on the 2nd string of your guitar twice. So we go to the 8th fret and play it twice. So we have the 5th fret 1 time and the 8th fret on the 2nd string twice. All right. Now if I wanted you to do something else with that, let's say I wanted you to bend the 2nd 8th. So I'm going to put an arrow up and I'll write the word full. What that tells me to do is to play the 8th fret on the 2nd string. I'm going to play it twice here, and then the second one I'm going to bend a full step like this. Now, bending that a full step means I want it to sound like a note 2 frets higher. So I want the 8 to sound like the 10. So you can play the 10th fret, kind of get a target pitch in mind, and then bend until you attain that. And that's what this arrow means, bending a note. That's how it's notated on tablature. We also have, say for example, I could put it on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. Full bend, arrow up, word full. If you don't see the word full and you do see the bend symbol, that defaults to full step. So we always bend them a full step. All right, so the 7th fret, bend it a full step. We want to make it sound like the 9th fret on the 3rd string. One thing that can really help you with these bends is if you have a tuner on your guitar, you can get like a snark tuner, put it on the headstock of the guitar, and you can actually watch in real time the note becoming higher in pitch until you attain and center on the note that you want to center on. So I have a video on bends, and you can watch that and look at how to do bends. But this is what they look like in tablature. This is what these arrows mean. All right, we can also do what's called a slide. For example, if I'm playing the 5th fret on the 3rd string, and then a slanted line, and a 7, that means play the 5th fret on the 3rd string and slide to the 7, like this. 5th fret, slide to 7. We could also slide and then bend. So the way that I would note that would be put the bend on the end of the 7 here, a full step, And that means we're going to slide from the 5th fret to the 7th fret and then bend the 7th fret. We're not going to hit the 7th fret again or pick it again. We're just going to slide and bend. And a full step. All right, another thing we can do with the bend, go down here to the lower staff, or the lower sheet of tab here. We're going to do the 7th fret, and we're going to bend up and return to pitch. All right, full step here. And what that tells me to do is to bend the note a full step as we have been doing, but then allow it to return back to pitch. So you're going to hear it go up and down like this. So it comes back down. And that's what this arrow means. Bend it up and then return to pitch. A couple other things we can do on tablature. We can do what's called a pull-off, where we would pick one note and then pull off to the next note. That would be notated like this. I have 8th fret and 5th fret on my 1st string with an arch above it. And that arch indicates pull off. So I play the 8th fret and just flick the string down with my, I'm going to drag my finger to the side so I can get the 2nd note to sound. So 8 to 5. That's called a pull off, noted with an arch. We can do the opposite of that. It's called a hammer-on, where I pick the lower note and hammer onto the higher note. And that means I have to slam the finger down just like a hammer. And that would be noted like this. 5 first, and then 8, and again with the arch. In the old days, they would put an H above a hammer-on or a P above a pull-off. But then they figured out that if we're going to be playing from a lower note to a higher note or a higher note to a lower note, you'll know which direction you're going. So if we're going from 5 to 8, it has to be a hammer-on. If we're going from 8 to 5, it would have to be a pull-off. All right. Now the next couple things I have on the tab sheet for you would be a little cumbersome to write here, so I'm just going to have you refer to the tab sheet that comes along with this lesson. We're going to be playing a scale, and it's an A minor pentatonic scale, and we're going to be playing on the 6th string, the 5th string, and the 4th string, these frets. 5th fret, and then 3, 5, 7, and then 5, 7. And that's the A minor pentatonic, a series of single notes one after the other. And then backwards. Again, you can look at the tab sheet that comes with this lesson, and you can see that it's in PDF format. Print it out, and you can follow along with it. It just shows you a series of notes and what those look like in tab. Then we have a chord, a regular G chord. And you'll see on the tab sheet that all of the notes on the G chord are actually stacked up one after the other. And that means to strum them all at the same time. I have it written with a down strum, which has a little staple shape underneath it. It shows you to strum down towards the floor. And then you see numbers 3, 2, open, 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 3, corresponding to all the frets that I'm playing here. 0 is indicating an open string where I'm not fretting it, but I am hitting it. And then we have the same chord written with an up strum, a little V underneath it, and that means up strum towards the ceiling. So we have down strums and up strums. These are some tab reading basics. I will have more in this series on more advanced notations, but this will get you started. How to play single notes, how the tabs laid out, what some of the symbols mean, and how to execute them. I hope you found this useful.